Surprise! Here I am. Um, Jax West from Stephen Avery Project, MAM Gossip, Justice with Jax. We were scheduled to go live earlier today while I was at work. Christopher, our moderator, let me know that Kathleen Zellner had filed the latest for Stephen. And so Christopher scheduled for me to do a live when I would be home from work, but we did not have access to the filing. So there was no point to go live if I didn't have the filing. And Kathleen Zellner just sent it to me. Um, so it's really short. I haven't read it yet. I typically just wait to read it with all y'all when we do this. And I know that you didn't get any notice of this, so there's going to be other people who missed this live. But I just figured, even though it's 8:20 p.m. my time and I'm in pajamas already and was just chilling here, that I would jump on real quick and read this for y'all. And then maybe I will save these screenshots of the filing and get it posted on Stephen Avery Project for other people to read later. So, but it's only, it says page 1 of 3. I think it's just a couple of paragraphs. So, it's State of Wisconsin Circuit Court, Manitowoc County. I'm going to need to put my glasses on. I need to clean these glasses. Notice of appeal. Notice is hereby given that the defendant in the above captioned case appeals to the Court of Appeals, District 2, from the final order ordered on August 22nd, 2023, in the Circuit Court for Manitowoc County, the Honorable Angela Suckowitz presiding, wherein the court denied defendant's third motion for post-conviction relief filed August 16th, 2022. Holy cow. It was a year? Hey, Debbie. This is not an appeal within Wisconsin Statute 752.31. This is not an appeal to be given preference pursuant to statute. The order denying post-conviction relief was entered on August 22nd, 2023. Now I got to go to the next page. I hereby transmit a copy of the Notice of Appeal filed herein on August 24, 2023, and a copy of the court record entries of the above entitled case as maintained pursuant to blah blah. No filing fee enclosed, dated this 24th day of August 2023. So that's it. That's all we got right now. So not much to discuss yet. But this is why I get so bothered when people think Kathleen Zellner is not working on this case, or, has she left the case, whatever. See how quickly I mean, not that there was a whole lot in that. We don't know any information other than what was in the filing for the lower court. But right away she's ready to take it the next step. And we knew the entire time that Judge Flowers was going to deny Stephen. She's never going to admit that there's anything wrong with Stephen's case. So Kathleen has already filed. How long that all is going to take, I don't know. But she's on it. Let Kathleen do her job. She is the best there is on overturning wrongful convictions. I'm not Stephen Avery. I don't know what it's like to be in prison and to be not once but twice incarcerated for something you didn't do. I get feeling anxious and want this to get moving. But Stephen or friends of Stephen reaching out to a judge, a court, whatever, you're not helping Stephen's case. Kathleen is the help he needs. Stephen is not rare in that these poor people have to suffer in prison all of these years waiting to get their conviction overturned. I know this is Stephen Avery Project, and people always get bothered when I talk about something that's not Stephen's case on here. But Melissa Kaluzinski, all right, another case of Kathleen Zellner's, and somebody who is a close personal friend of mine and has been for years now, that I go and I visit Melissa once a month and I talk to her. And she called me this morning, and she always likes to know what's going on in the other cases that I advocate for too. And I told her that Stephen was recently denied, which she also, that's coming, that you're not going to get really anywhere with your original judge. And I've also told her about the letter that Stephen sent, or somebody sent on Stephen's behalf, to the judge. And she's like, you just got to be patient. And Melissa's been saying that to me for years. Every time I talk to her, she's like, I'm just being patient. I'm just being patient. And also, she's got 100% trust in Kathleen Zellner. She knows she's got the best attorney. So, and she's been in prison 14 years now, 14, 15, I don't know. But she knows she's got Kathleen Zellner. So, yeah, she wants to go home yesterday. You just gotta wait. And there's nothing Kathleen can do to hurry up our system that takes so long. So, to say again that Kathleen Zellner has filed today a notice of appeal with, so this was addressed to the clerk of the circuit court, April Higgins, in Manitowoc. So we now wait. Again. If I find out any more on this filing, if we get if there's anything more to get, I will go live when I can to go over it. So, but that's all we got for now, and just keep Stephen and Brendan in your thoughts, and hopefully something will come out of it this time, because Lisa, what more? You say you want me to get more passionate on this. What do you want? I just want to know what you're referring to. What do you want me to, because I feel that I'm very passionate about this case. But there's just, unfortunately, nothing we can do about our slow system. And I feel for Stephen and Brendan and everybody wasting away in prison. Also, Debbie mentioned Stephen's dad. that was the biggest thing for me always, is I wanted Steven to get out and be able to be with his mom. So it's so it's one of the biggest tragedies of this case to me that Steven didn't get to be a free man with his mom. His mom was the only person who was always there for Steven. There was no one else that has always been there for Steven, that regularly talked to him, visited him. Dolores, even when Steven wasn't the nicest to Dolores. We've heard those prison or jail calls. Dolores was always there for Steven. And now Steven's lost his mom. And, his dad hasn't been in good health in a while. Let's do more rallies and come together. Well, I've done several rallies and the people don't turn out. Whether or not it's a rally that I've organized or the Avery family organizes, people don't come out. I think the most I've seen at a rally is like 30 people. And the ones that the Avery family organize, it's more about them just having fans that come out and hang out with them, that they make it a party, that they go to a restaurant and all that. And I don't know how that helps these guys in prison to just have a couple dozen people go to a courthouse or a prison. I don't know what there is to do except for, like, here on Steven Avery Project or on Justice with Jax, where I'm trying to keep people up on the case and keep that that they're not forgotten, and nobody's going to just walk away from this and let these guys just wither away in there. Right, Charlene. It's sad. This was one of the biggest things on Netflix. And here on Steven Avery Project, the question that we get the most, so on Facebook, Steven Avery Project is the biggest page for this case. And the number one question we get is, when is the next season coming out? So it's people think of this case more of, this was my favorite show and when is it coming back, and they forget about that these are real people, that these things have happened to them. Another thing, as Kenneth saying, no rally will help, courts don't care about rallies. That's another thing I've said to people before, when like they do petitions or whatever on those things. All right, I work in politics. The people who consistently try to message or tag the governor of Wisconsin and those kinds of things, if you are not a voter, they don't care. So it doesn't matter how many people from all around the world or all around the country are tagging them or trying to call them or email them or sign a petition. They don't care. You can't vote for them. Therefore, that's just how it is. Not saying it's right. And I would happily do another rally if I knew there was going to be a turnout. But there just isn't. And so I think it hurts the case more than helps it to show just 30 people coming out for him. And then half of those are family members who are protecting the killer and are part of putting Steven and keeping Steven where he is. So I don't see the good in going to hang out with Brendan's mom, who did not protect Brendan, let him get questioned without an adult. And then meanwhile, she's always protecting Bobby. An excuse she's given me before is, well, Bobby has kids now. Don't care if he murdered somebody. I don't care that he's married and has children now. Brendan never got the opportunity to get married and have children. Brendan didn't get the opportunity to graduate high school. Brendan got the opportunity to get a driver's license. Lisa, unfortunately, it's it's a whole huge overhauling that has to get done, and nobody's going to touch it. I I wish, you know, I talked to many. I'm not in Wisconsin. I'm in Illinois. So I am around. I was with a congressperson, a senator, and a representative today. Um, I've talked to people, politicians here in Illinois, especially about Melissa Kaluzinski's case and the treatment that happens down there in that prison. And I can't get anybody to stand up for them. But Stephen has Kathleen Zellner, who's going to keep plugging along. So, and Stephen Avery Project is always going to exist. We will always bring you the news here as soon as we're able to get it, and I can go live or we can post it. So, I'm going to end this now because it's already late. And then I'll take screenshots of the email screenshots that Kathleen sent me so we can get those posted for y'all, so you can see it for yourself. And then if I get anything more or hear anything more, please, stay tuned. Or if you hear something or find something before I do or Christopher does here, let us know. Send it our way. You can private message it to Stephen Avery Project, or we've got the email is official Stephen Avery Project at gmail.com, or you can email justicewithjax at gmail.com. Maybe I should close this with saying, because I haven't done this in the last few lives I've done. If you are somebody who knows something about this case, Kathleen Zellner on her website, KathleenTZellner.com. She's got a page for Stephen Avery on there, and on that page she has a dedicated phone number and email just for the Stephen Avery case. Please reach out to Kathleen Zellner. Don't think what you know or what you saw has already been given to her, because we've seen time and time again in this case people who came forward and it was ignored or buried. And you can't assume that even if you have reached out to Kathleen in the past, that she got it. Because now remember, one of the new witnesses thought he reached out to Stephen's lawyers, but that's because from watching him Making a Murderer, he saw the Innocence Project and he reached out to Innocence Project and not Kathleen. Also, anything could happen. If you've reached out to Kathleen before, you called her number and left a message, or you sent an email, something could have happened. So please send contact Kathleen on there. Lisa's asking, could you put that information on the site for Kathleen so we can share? Yes, I will do. Let me even make a note, because I do this live. I come all the way up to my top floor to my spare bedroom to do this. And now when I'm going to go do the screenshot of this filing and doing that, Lisa, I'm going to go back down into my basement where my husband and I were just watching TV, and I'll be doing it on my iPad. So KZ and filing. I'm writing it down because I'm old and I forget things. Even going from my third floor to my first floor, I'm going to forget. So, all right. Thank you. Sorry, maybe I should read stuff too before I'm like, oh, okay, she emailed it to me. I'm going live without even reading it to see that it's really nothing. I appreciate that she sent it, but really not breaking news that I needed to jump on here tonight. But whatever. Okay, thank you everybody. Have a nice weekend. If nothing happens and I don't go live before that. And as always, investigation continues.